Great. Perfect. So a lot of you are here with Felipe for us to talk about responsibility. Buddy, we always start with introductions, but also we have to remember before the rules we have here on Talk and Talk. For the immersions, every time I go live, this happens.
Okay, no problem.
So just remember here the 3 rules here on Talk and Talk. Rule number 1, this right now is an immersion, it's a conversation. It's not a class. I'm not here to teach you anything. It doesn't mean that we're not going to learn. There's a lot we can learn in here by discussing, by conversation, right?
Right.
Rule number 2 is that I'm not going to correct you, Felipe. You can say bonono instead of banana, and I'm not going to correct you. We're not here for that. We're here to make mistakes and to learn from them. So feel free to make your mistakes in here.
All right.
Right. And rule number 3 is that we're going to be respectful to one another. Doesn't matter what. These are the 3 rules we follow on Talk and Talk. So they're super easy, right?
Right.
Good. So that's it. Oh, hello, Gloria. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm great. And you?
Perfect. Me too. Doing just fine. Nice to have you join us here for the conversation.
Thank you.
All righty. Guys, I'm going to get the questions here and put them in the chat. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to ask you guys to introduce yourselves to us. Okay, Felipe, could you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, my name is Felipe Lira, but most of my friends call me Lira. I am married. I am 44 years old. I live in Recife with my wife and daughter. I work as a network and professional analyst remotely, and in my free time I like to watch movies, go to the beach, travel when it's possible. That's it. It's a summer of my life.
That's great. That's awesome. I love traveling, love going to the beach, especially when it's the like beaches where you don't have a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, those beaches you can like lay on the sand and just relax. I love it. Perfect. What about you, Gleda? Thank you, Felipe, for introducing yourself to us. Gleda, could you do your introduction, please?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Gloria. I live in Mozambique, Africa. I am 27 years old. I work as gender and youth specialist in community. Most of the time, I cook and read a book. Yes, I think that's it for me.
That's really great. What is your job again? I didn't understand.
I working for NGO in community.
Oh, that's so cool.
And youth specialist.
Oh, that's so great.
Yes. I working for youth and human in community.
That's really great. Congrats for your job. That's kind of work is not easy, but it really helps people.
Yes, thank you.
That's awesome. Nice to have you here with us, Lara. And I'm Rufino, Junior Rufino, but people usually call me Rufino, so I just decided to adopt the name. I'm 21 years old. I live in Hortolândia, São Paulo, here in Brazil, but I come from another state, which is Minas Gerais. I am an analyst, a marketing analyst here on Talk and Talk. I also teach English. I also do immersions. I do a little bit of everything. And something I like doing, I really enjoy, let me see what I really enjoy doing, something different. Oh, I like running. I think running is really cool because when you run, it's the one activity you do that you're just like, you're exercising your body, you're spending energy, but your mind is free. So you can think about whatever you like. You can listen to music. You can, I don't know, you can do whatever you can think about anything you want when you're running. And I like to do it really early, like 5 in the morning, because there aren't a lot of people running at this time. There aren't a lot of people on the street. So it's really calm and I don't feel like people are watching me. So that's something I really like doing. All righty. So, Gloria, you weren't here when I said, today we're going to talk about responsibility. And I wanted to start asking you, what does responsibility mean to you, Gloria?
My responsibilities in my job.
Yeah, what is
Hello?
the meaning of responsibility to you?
Okay. I think responsibility is and activities that people give us, like in our job, in school, at home. Yes, depends where we are.
That's great. Thinking about this definition, do you consider you have a lot of responsibilities?
Sorry, I didn't get it.
No problem. It's still for you the question. So you said what you think is responsibility, and do you think you have many responsibilities?
Yes, I have more responsibility in my job, in my house, every single day. I do my many responsibilities depend where I am, like in my house, in my job, I have different responsibility.
Great. And that's something, right? Like, depending on the place, on the context, on the job, on your lifestyle, responsibilities, they change, right? But it's something everybody has in common, even if it's, I don't know, mowing the lawn, cooking, taking care of people, buying things. Everybody has responsibilities, right?
Yes.
It's good. Thank you, Gloria. And what about you, Felipe? What does responsibility mean to you?
Well, responsibility for me is like a task, you know, a duty that you need to do, you know, and like, for example, responsibility in my professional, you know, I need to be responsible for the configuration that I do. I need to treat my coworkers as well. I'm responsible for the others analysts, junior analysts, you know. That's it. Responsibility is like a task you need to do and responsible for the action, you know, the result, the task. we need to be responsible for the result or that the task you do for you are responsible for, something. It's not easy for me to answer about responsibility, but in general, is it, the task or think that you need to do and is responsible for the result.
Yes. Responsibility is funny to talk about it, right? Because we know responsibilities exist. We know we have responsibilities, but how to define it? What is a responsibility? What is not? It's kind of complicated.
Yeah.
And do you feel like you have like many responsibilities?
Sorry, could you repeat?
Do you feel like you have many responsibilities?
Yes, I consider that I have many because I'm married. I have responsibility in my family, with my family, my wife, my daughter. I have a lot of responsibility in my job, and that's it. But I can deal well with it, I'm a good professional and I'm a good father and husband.
Great, that's good. Perfect, mister. All right, guys, I agree with you. I think responsibility is that thing you have to take care of, is that task, activity that is assigned to you, that's your mission, is something that is your responsibility, right?
Yeah.
Responsibility is your responsibility. It's difficult to explain, but I feel like there are different kinds of responsibility. I think there is this responsibility that is the practical thing, like Laura, you have to do this, and that. Felipe, you have to do these tasks at home, this task at work. And I also think there is the responsibility, which is the feeling of responsibility, which is, for example, maybe your boss asks you to do something, but you don't feel like that's your responsibility, like, oh, I can help people, I can do this task, I can cook, I can do a spreadsheet, but I don't feel like that's my responsibility. I don't feel a sense of duty to that thing, So I think there's also the feeling. There are some things that you really feel responsible. They feel, no, I have to do it. It's my duty. It's my responsibility. And there are some things I think we just don't feel. We don't have like, oh, that's my responsibility. We don't feel like taking care of it. Thinking about that, I want to ask, I don't know how to make this question, but let's see. Felipe, do you feel responsible?
Responsible for what?
In general, do you feel
Yes.
like responsible?
Yeah, I consider myself responsible.
Great. What are the things you feel? Go ahead.
No, because like I said before, I complete my duties, because we know that people that make a promise but not finish your duty, So it's not a good thing to do. Because of that, I consider myself responsible for my actions and my actions.
That's good. Perfect. And what are the 3 things you feel the most responsible about?
Responsible about?
Like, oh, I feel really responsible about my kids. I feel really responsible in my job and making everything organized and working right. I feel really responsible about my parents, my parents' health. What are the 3 things you feel the most responsible of?
Currently, I'm responsible for my family, because I am the only person that work in that moment. My wife and my daughter only study, so I'm responsible for maintain my family. I'm responsible for my study. I am like a self-study, so I'm responsible for it. I need to study to maintain myself, my career updated, and I'm responsible for the job's demands. I have some project to deploy, so I need to do it in a correct way. That's it. The 3 things: my family, my study, and my job.
Very good. That's great. Perfect. And feeling responsible for your own education is something not a lot of people do. So that's really good. What about you, Gloria? Do you feel responsible?
Sure. I'm responsible.
Great. And what are the 3 things you feel the most responsible about?
3 things. I think is most responsible for my job. The most important things, my family, obvious. The another thing is my my own life, like my routine, my activities in day. Yes.
That's really good. That is great. And it's interesting, right? Not a lot of, I don't know how it's like for you in Mozambique, but here in Brazil, let me tell you something. Many Brazilians, they don't feel responsible about their own routines, It's very common in Brazil for people to be late. It's very common in Brazil for people to say they're going to do things and they don't do it. And this is coming from a person who is always late and many times says it's going to do something and don't do it. So it's not everybody feels responsible for their life, their routines. That's good having this feeling. How is it like in Mozambique? Are people responsible for like their lives, their routines? Are people on time, or they get late, they don't do activities?
Sorry. Yes, the people in Mozambique is like in Brazil. I think the 2 countries is same. But in Mozambique have more young people that have a responsibility uh, in your job, your family. So it doesn't young people no responsibility like in a job or family. It's time. People in Mozambique is like Brazilian.
Oh, okay, so that's good. It's not ideal, but it happens. Yeah, because there are some countries, some cultures, they don't like it, right? There are some, for example, European people hate when you're late. In Brazil, it's completely acceptable. I mean, it isn't the ideal, but people are used to it. So nice to know Mozambique is like this. So it's an option for me because I'm really late in things. All right. Now for question number 2, I want to ask you, Felipe, How do you define personal responsibility?
How do I find personal responsibility?
Yes, how do you define it? What is
Define.
personal responsibility?
Oh my God. I don't know exactly how to answer this question, but personal responsibility is like you take care of yourself, in related study, healthy. That's it, responsibility
Yes.
with yourself. I don't know if it's correct, but
No, I don't know if it's correct too, but I agree with you. Oh, Diego was really deep when he was creating these questions. Oh, wait a second. Now I know who created these questions. It wasn't him, but these questions are really deep.
Yeah, personal responsibility.
Yeah. What about you, Gloria? Oh, go ahead, Felipe.
No, I don't know if the answer is correct, but it's my point of view about it.
Perfect. Thank you. What about you, Gloria? How do you define personal responsibility?
Oh, yes, it is the hard question. Personal responsibility for me is a person that do what should be do. Like when people is strategies like activities from with and activities he made this activity. For me, is the person is I define responsibilities. For example, in my job, when my boss gives me an activities, I should or I must do these activities. I am responsible. Yes, that's it.
I was muted, sorry. I agree with you guys. I think personal responsibility is doing what you have to do, what you should be doing. But I think there's also something that's more like deep about personal responsibility, which is the responsibility for your actions. I think personal responsibility is all the things that only you can do, and it's your responsibility because nobody else can do it for you. So like brushing your teeth is personal responsibility. It's very difficult for another person to do it for you every day. Taking a shower, taking care of your health, taking care of your money, taking care of your habits, of your routine, having self-control, getting to the places on time and doing the activities you have to do. I think that's personal responsibility. And it starts on the little things, when you want to watch one more episode of a TV show, of a series, but it is already late and you have to sleep so you can work on the next day. Yeah, I think that's where the personal responsibility starts,
Yeah.
But
And talking about about self-control, the person needs to identify your weakness and strengths to control in a adversity situation, in your life. And for example, in a stressful situation, so we need to make control of yourself to don't discuss that uh, have a bad conversation with other people, you know, we need to self-control about it, to identify your weakness and strengths, to be more control about your life in your thoughts. You understand me or not?
I was muted again. Sorry. But I understand, and I agree with that. You know, you gotta, and it's an exercise, it's something daily for you to get to know yourself better, understand your boundaries, and planning, you know, putting yourself on the line to do what needs to be done. I think that's really something interesting. So thinking about that, I never follow like the questions and the numbers. I also like to, you know, always make new questions out of the ones what we're talking.
Mhm.
So Felipe, do you, in a level from 1 to 10, what do you say is your level of personal responsibility?
8. 8.
8.
Mhm.
Okay. What do you think you can do to improve your personal responsibility?
I need to improve my health, responsibility, because I need to make more exercise, you know, go to the gym. That's it. It's an area that I need to improve. And financial areas too, because I'm not control. I don't have much control about money, you know. I waste money with stupid things, you know. That's it. The two areas that I need to improve my responsibility, personal responsibility, financials and health.
Right, that's good. Good. What about you, Glenn? In a scale from 1 to 10, what do you say is your level of personal responsibility? Glenn, can you hear me? Your microphone is off. And maybe she's not hearing. Okay. Glenn? Can you hear? Okay, maybe she's not. She's away from the computer. No problem.
Okay.
In a level, in a scale from 1 to 10, I would say my personal responsibility is like 3, 2, maybe.
Oh my God.
Hi, sorry.
No problem,
Yes.
no problem.
Broke up a little bit.
Oh, no problem. We are talking here about levels of personal responsibility. And I said that my level of personal responsibility is like 2. My financial life is messed up. My family life is messed up. My love life is messed up. My health, everything. So yeah, what I can do to improve that is I've been feeling a lot of anxiety and a lot of pressure about many things, and I'm not feeling well, to be honest. I'm not feeling very well lately. So I think what I have to do is find what's making me feel this way and work towards feeling better and being in a position of where I can work on my personal responsibility, when I have like energy to be more responsible with myself, to do exercise, to work on my health. So that's what I can do to improve my personal responsibility. It's not easy. There's a lot of things I need to change, but it's the plan. Now, I think Glada had to leave. So let's go to question number 3. Felipe, do you believe responsibility is something that can be learned, or is it innate? Is something you were born with?
I believe that responsibility you can learn, you can improve with if you want to know, if you have a good, we have good example in in the planet, about responsibility. And if you see that you need to improve, you can search in books or articles, how can I improve my responsibility? It's a subject that you can search how to improve it.
Yes.
That's it, man. You can buy examples as well, And if you have for example, in the past, I had a good boss, I learned a lot with him about responsibility. It's another way to where you can learn about responsibility with examples of others.
Yes. And you know what is the first thing everybody learns about responsibility? It's silly things like you have to make your bed, you have to take care of your school material, you have to tie your own shoes. I don't believe anyone is born responsible. When we were born, we're babies. Everybody's doing everything for us. We have no responsibility. And with the years, we start learning what responsibility is, what our responsibilities are, and how to fulfill them. So I don't believe anyone is born responsible. I don't think it's an innate skill. Everyone has to learn to be responsible. So for some people, I think it's more easy, but I believe that's a product of their environment, how they grew up, the example they had when they were kids, how they were educated. But I don't think it's an ability like singing or something that's natural to your body. I think it's something you have to learn. Everybody has to learn to be responsible.
There are people that has this feeling, about organized or proactivity, There are people that are proactivity, For example, if I see one thing disorganized, I can proactively organize. Or if I see that there is a work to do and I can do for other people, This kind of behavior, the people was born with it. Can born,
Yeah, there are some people, it comes naturally to them, right?
Naturally, yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. Perfect. I am not one of those people, are you?
Yeah, I consider myself a proactivity person. So when I see that there is something wrong or something that I need to improve, even if it's not my responsibility, but I do, or I talk with other people to do it, or I can help. I'm good with it.
Great. That's good. That's good. I tend to be very proactive when I'm really excited about something. So like if it's a responsibility that I don't like very much, it takes me some time to do it. But about the things I am excited, I really think it's cool, I am very proactive too. like planning and doing these things.
Mhm.
But when I like what I'm doing, when I don't like it, doesn't happen so often.
There is another point, it's habit, For example, I don't like to get up early. I don't like, but if I receive a responsibility to get up early, I will do. For example, if I get a new job that I need to get up early, it's my responsibility now. I will change my life to do it. You understand? We need
Yes.
to change our behavior sometimes too, because the responsibility.
Yes, I do. That's something. Nah, nah, in Portuguese. But yes, the habit, the consistency, and the what is the name? I forgot how to say empenho in English. But yeah, these are the things that make that make a person being able to be responsible, to meeting their responsibilities, I guess. So let me make you another question. Question number 4. And I think you kind of already said a little bit about that, but just to complete, what do you believe are some traits, characteristics of a responsible person?
Oh my God, man. I don't know exactly the characteristics. Let's organize it. The people is organized. It's a characteristics. I don't know, maybe educated with other I don't know, maybe that's 2 characteristics. Organized. I don't know, man, you.
No, I believe that some traits of responsible people are a responsible person has to be a person who is consistent. Responsibility demands consistency, right? Because you have to do it. You have to keep doing it. If you don't like, if it's difficult, you have to do it because it's your responsibility. So I believe consistency is a big characteristic. I also think that usually responsible people, they are good with planning because,
Yeah. And
uh,
finish things, no, people that
yeah,
can start and finish your project or your activity.
yes, you have to do it from start to end, all the way.
Uh-huh.
So I believe that's a big characteristic of responsible people. And another characteristic of responsible people is that usually they have a feel, like a systematic view. They can understand, like, I don't know how to say that, but I think usually responsible people, they are people who, when they look at things, they can understand what's happening, what are the implications of some activity or some thing, and they do it. I think it's very difficult for you to follow a responsibility that you don't understand why you're doing that. So usually people, when they're responsible, they understand what they're doing, what are the outcome of it. And I think usually responsible people, that have a good view, of things.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to explain it better.
like analyze the thing before the actions, like plan. It's a plan.
Yes, but not always only that. Like when you feel responsible about something, you understand what is the consequence of it, right? You know that if you don't bring money into your house, your guys are gonna go through a difficult times, you know. So you feel the responsibility. You know that if you don't update the system in your company every day with the information of the day, it's going to create problems for the company. The company can close, the company can lose clients, lose deals. So I think usually responsible people, they have a good view of what's happening, what I have to do, and what are the consequences if I do or if I don't do it. No, because I think that's where the feeling of responsibility comes from.
Yeah.
Good. Now the opposite, Mr. Felipe.
Hey, Rufino, I
Sure.
need to go out, man, because I have other appointment now.
Oh,
So
okay.
I need to go.
No
Okay.
problem, buddy. It was nice having you here today, and hope we get to talk more times.
Okay, Rufino. Bye bye. See you later.
Thank you, Mr. Bye. And if you're watching, the people who were here in the conversation had to go. So we're gonna finish right now. Thank you for watching this immersion. And I would like to invite you to participate in immersions with us here on Talk and Talk. You can click on the link that's on the description of this video and access Talk and Talk, test it for 7 days and see what it's like to actually speak the language in a community that's here to help you to build confidence, and you can, be yourself, share your opinions, make networking, and most of all, make your mistakes so you can learn the language. You can learn from them. That's it. That's Rufino signing off. Bye.